Yo, what's up guys? Welcome to our very first build battle on the channel. I'm super hyped because I've been meaning to do these type of videos for a very long time. We basically do a little build battle for a video. I then pick a winner and that winner takes home some free race legacy merch, like we got stickers of the VR4, stickers of the Evo, stickers of the DSM, whatever you guys want. We have air fresheners, Evo, VR4, Eclipse, we have jet tags, we have all this stuff that I'm gonna be giving away to one winner today and for every single video that we do a build battle on. I recently posted up a story on my Instagram to test this out. I asked you guys to upload pictures and videos through a link on my Instagram, and a bunch of you guys did. I was actually quite overwhelmed because there was over 100 submissions. Of course, I do want to mention to try to upload different angles, as much high quality pictures as you can. They don't have to be 4K or anything like that, but just make sure that they're somewhat decently looking. I don't want them to be super blurry because it makes them kind of hard to judge. And if you guys could also maybe post your mods and what your car is on the little notes app that you have, screenshot that and send that with your submission. That would also help because it tells me a much deeper story of the car than just looking at it, you know, on how it looked. And I also did want to mention that it does not have to be a Mitsubishi to compete in the battle of the builds. You could have any type of different car and you are always free to submit that as well. So let's start off with our first person here. We have Giovanni Cruz, who submitted his what seems to be like a turbo Eclipse. I'm not sure if it's a GST or GSX, but based off the side skirts, it seems to be a 2GA with a high rise and 2GB bumper conversion. He does have some sort of wheels. I'm not too sure on the brand, but they do look good. The fitment looks somewhat aesthetic. I'm pretty sure he is poking in the front though. I do like the red bright seats in there, and based on what I see, he does have a hood dump. He does have tinted windows, but besides that, what would I change? I would probably finish off the 2GB conversion in the front and the rear. I do see he has a 95 and 96 rear bumper, and then from there probably just fix all the dents and scratches and paint it. Of course, I had to do that to my own car, so I understand that that's probably the longest thing to wait for, but it does look good. The foundation's there. Again, I would just finish off the body parts like the side skirts, the rear bumper, maybe add a lip kit, a paint job, and this thing would probably look super killer. So props to him. 1 out of 10, I would probably rate this car a good 7, 7.5, because like I said, the foundation's there. You just need to focus on the small details that make the car just stand out that much more. So good job to Giovanni Cruz. For our second guy, we have a G63 Hydro. He does seem to have a turbo model, not too sure on what it is. He does have aftermarket headlights. I'm not too sure on what wheels he has, but the fitment doesn't look too bad. He seems to have the European style fenders, which is basically the little side turn signal on there. He has a boosting performance window banner. I don't like how he chopped up the front bumper for that front mount though. It doesn't look very clean, so I would probably redo that. And the driver's side headlight doesn't look like it fits in the body too well. So I'm not sure if it was in an accident or if it's not properly sitting because of the front mount, but I would probably fix that first. Besides that, it looks good from the back. He does have EDM taillights and exhaust system. He has a full 2GB rear end. I would probably just maybe finish off installing that side skirt right there, lower the car a little bit more, remove all the stickers. I'm not really a big fan on stickers. Probably add the carbon fiber centerpiece and a carbon fiber rear diffuser from Carbonetics, a full lip kit, and this thing would look pretty darn good. I do like this color on the Eclipses. I'm not sure if this is OEM, but it looks to be like the dark gray. I might be wrong, but like I said, the foundation's there. It does need some TLC, but like I said, most of our cars do. If I was to rate this from 1 to 10, I would probably give this a good solid 6. It still needs some work. I'm not too sure on interior. I wish he kind of sent me more engine bay pictures and interior pictures, but it does look to be like some black interior, so that already is rare on its own. All right, so for number 3, we have Eggy, who sent in his Eagle Talon. Seems to be like a pretty old picture based on, I'm not sure if it's the filter or the picture itself, but it looks like it was taken back in the early 2000s. He has a pretty unique hood scoop on the hood. It looks like an OEM hood, but he does have like a Fast and the Furious style type of hood scoop. So I'm not much of a fan of that. He does have the 2GB Talon front bumper. My personal taste, I would probably remove the front plate because it just makes the front bumpers look that much better. He does seem to have some Need for Speed rims on there, and of course he does have some like side skirts that I'm not really much of a fan of cars that have the body kits. Of course the Eclipses kind of have that reputation for having like the Fast and the Furious replicas, but for the most part they're not really trendy now. I don't think they're ever going to come back, but maybe he got this car a long time ago. He built it to his liking and he never kind of switched it up. I do see a pretty hot flame paint job here on the side. It's kind of hard to see it, but it's blue. It goes towards the side. He also has an aftermarket wing, not sure on the brand. And from the looks, it also looks like he has an Eclipse 2G rear end conversion. So I wish he kind of sent me more pictures, but that's all I can see. It looks to be pretty well taken care of. What would I change? I'd probably pretty much remove the whole body kit off of it. I'll probably change the hood back to original, put some nice wheels on it, lower it a little bit more, get rid of that wing, get rid of the rear bumper, the tail lights, probably revert it back to an original Evo Talon. If I was to rate it from 1 to 10, I would probably give this a solid 5.5, because maybe that's his style, I'm not here to judge, but it's just not my personal style. So here we have the aldorius. I'm not sure if I said that right, but he has a super clean 2GB. Now when I was looking at this car, I'm not too sure if this one's on YouTube. I think I've seen a cinematic video, and I think this is the one. So it's basically a wide body RS, if I recall. He does have the Carbonetics AB version 2 hood, and that hood looks really good on any Eclipse with a wide body in my opinion. He does have the Carbonetics rear carbon fiber hatch. He does have the APR side mirrors, which I like. I'm not sure what wide body he is. I'm not sure if it's the Carbonetics one or not, but it does look super clean on it. He does have some aftermarket side skirts, which I'm not really a fan of. I'll probably go back to OEM. And he also has some sort of lip kit. That's not Carbonetics, that's something else. I'm not sure on what it is, but he does have the side skirt extensions, and he does have a front lip. I think that's probably the best looking front lip on a 2GB Eclipse, but the car is very well done. From what I can tell, he also has some bright seats inside. Besides that, I do see, I'm not sure if the car's painted, but he does have some sort of hood pins. You do need hood pins for the Carbonetics hoods, and he also has a rear window hatch visor. I don't know who makes that. I'm not sure if it's Carbonetics or not, but that's super clean. He is going for the wingless look, but it does look super clean, super well done. This is probably high on the list for the winner right now. So if I was to rate this from 1 to 10, this is a solid 9, because he's not missing too much as far as like aesthetics for my style for it to be complete. I would probably just change out the side skirt. I'm not sure if he has a different rear end as far as bumpers and stuff like that, but it looks super clean as it is. Now for our next contestant, we have G63 Toby, which seems to be like a German European Eclipse. I could tell based off the fenders and the front plate, so pretty cool to see. Now I know that in Europe they didn't get 420H for the naturally aspirated models. They did get the NA G63, which is what I'm thinking this is. It does look super clean. He is tracking it, I'm not sure where, but it looks pretty sick on the track. He does have some sort of canards on there, no front lip, no lip kits. He has some pretty small wheels, but he seems to be gripping pretty fine in there with the passenger, so that's pretty awesome. Here's another angle he sent me. It is currently wingless. It also looks like he has some sort of aftermarket roll cage in there, and it also looks like he's actually fully gutted, so that's pretty sick. I guess it's a fully dedicated track car for him. I also see the Megan rear strut bar, which I actually don't like. I used to have those in my car in the front and the back, and I found the DC bars to be that much more better, because they're just bigger, fatter, and they stabilize the car that much better. So I do highly recommend that if you want to make your Eclipse handle as good as possible. I do recommend some good proper coilovers like KW, Reaction, and then you could always get different suspension components from Volk and stuff like that. So all right, so here we have Alan DSM 98 with his submission. He seems to be having a Spider. Not sure if it's a 4G64 NA or if it's a Turbo GST. I can't tell if the car used to be silver or not, because as you guys can see, the door handle is silver and the front bumper silver, but the rest of the car seems to be that purple OEM color. So it's one or the other. He does have some sort of aftermarket canards, bumper. He does have a DSM Legacy window banner, and he also has the aftermarket side skirt extensions. From what I recall, those are off the Subaru. So if you are looking into that style side skirt extension, just look up 06 or 05. WRX side skirt extensions are usually the ones that are kind of flat and then they have a little winglet at the end. But I do rather recommend the Carbonetics ones because they're just more flat, they're carbon fiber, and they just look cleaner in my opinion. So now if this was my car, I would personally get rid of the canards, get rid of the side skirt extensions, get a proper lip kit, take off the convertible top, have a cage welded on top of it to kind of make it a full, I don't know how you call it, but Sergio from Carbonetics actually has his car built like this, and ever since I saw a Spider like that, I actually really like them. So I would probably do that. I would probably get rid of the front plate in the front. He does have the front bumper zip tied. I've never been a fan of the quick releases on the bumpers. I was never a big fan of it. I do appreciate you submitting your car and actually putting it out there. I'm not a fan of the rims. They seem to be some sort of chrome. I would probably switch over to a different brand, something more tuner style. If I was to rate this from 1 to 10, I would probably give this a solid 5 because it does need a lot of TLC based off the pictures. But of course, we all start somewhere. My car was at that point, you know, back in the day. And I also do realize that everyone builds at their own time and based on their own schedule. So Shout out to Alan for submitting his car. Next we have a Dennis Richer, which seems to be like it's another European Eclipse. Silver, which I am a sucker for. I do believe that the silver mint and pearl on the Mitsubishi Eclipses is the best color, but I might just be biased. He does have the same silver and gold wheel look, which I am a big fan of. It seems to be like it's a 2GX or a 95 or 96. He does seem to have some sort of aftermarket side skirts and front bumpers. Now I recognize that front bumper from like Need for Speed and stuff like that, so it is period correct in a sense. I guess if I was to build a car like that, this is somewhat what I would build, like a Need for Speed and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. I like the style. He does have the EDM taillights. So shout out to Dennis. Here we have a Chevy Man Z71. He looks to be like he's from California based off the other pictures I was looking at, but this is probably one of the cleaner examples that I could probably show you of what a really well maintained, modded, and showcased Eclipse is. But based on what I'm looking at, it is a 2GB, either GST or GSX, hopefully a GSX because that thing just looks so pretty. He seems to have some sort of TE37, so some sort of TE37 style type of wheels. I also see that he did the Brembo conversion on his car. Here is a shot of the rear end of him on the dyno, him shooting flames. That's pretty sick. Pretty common for Eclipses once you're up there in the power range and you start doing a little bit of two-step. So he does seem to have the EDM taillights, the carbonetics rear diffuser. Super nice fitment based off this angle right here. I do like it. Here we have a picture of the engine bay. Based off what I can see, he is on speed density. He does have a full intake, intercooler piping, Greddy blowout valve. He does have a heat shield in the manifold, so I'm not really too sure on what type of turbo or manifold he's running, but based off the fact that he's shooting flames on the dyno, it's pretty safe to assume he's probably running a bigger turbo. He's not super heavily modified. I do see a Mishimoto radiator, some sort of bigger fans. He does have a nice color on the valve cover, MSD wires. Here's a shot of his interior. I do see a really nice Evo steering wheel conversion that has been rewrapped, which I did a while back on my Evo as well. So I'll go ahead and link that video here for you guys to check out if you guys want to do that to an Evo steering wheel, because they're super cheap to acquire. Go search on DSM tuners on how to do the conversion for the Mitsubishi Eclipse, guys. It's actually a very common steering wheel conversion because it's a Momo steering wheel, but it still keeps that OEM look and it just feels really good when you're driving it. So I do see the Miguel DSM air freshener on there, so shout out to you. I just saw that. I don't know if you guys can see it, but he does have one of those on there, so it makes that interior that much better. I want to applaud this guy because this is probably a really clean example of what a Mitsubishi Eclipse should look like, and you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys could agree with me. So props to you, man. This thing currently holds, I want to say, first place. If I was to rate this from 1 to 10, this is a solid 9.5. It's just because it doesn't have the lip kit on there, but very well done, sir. I applaud you. So here we have Mauricio Abarca. He did only send me one angle of the picture, but here seems to be like a Mitsubishi Eclipse with a full front bumper, side skirt, and rear bumper conversion for an aftermarket one. Not too sure. And he also has an aftermarket wing. If I was to rate this from 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 5 because, of course, I think it needs work. It's not my sense of style. He might like this type of body kit. A lot of people do. But I'm personally not a fan. And here we have Adrian Rodriguez. Now this Eclipse looks super nice in that color. I have always loved the Mitsubishi Eclipse in color blue, and if you guys didn't know, I did have a blue Mitsubishi Eclipse, a GST, back in like 2013, 2014. Same color. Gave me a bunch of issues. I ended up giving up on that car and just selling it off because I found a crack on the transmission bell housing. So from what I know, that car ended up getting parted out and junked, so rest in peace to that car. But ever since then, the blue Eclipses do have a very special place in my heart, and I do believe that the blue basically looks really good on these cars, and it's not even an OEM choice. So if I had this car, I'd probably open up that mouth on the bumper. If hopefully it's a turbo model, I'm not too sure if it's a GST or GSX, or maybe it's a GS, but at least add a front lip. His side skirts is missing that little piece in the middle. Just kind of finish off the car, you know, making it look decent. I feel like a lip kit and maybe a little bit more of a drop would make it look a little more aesthetic. I want to say that it's a pretty nice car. It's the foundation's there. So from 1 to 10, I would give this a good 8, 8.5. I do feel like it's a really pretty car. I do like the wheel choice. I would probably go with something maybe a little bit smaller. I'm not too sure if those are 18s or 19s, but I would probably go with like a different set of wheels. All right, so if I was to choose one of these cars for you guys as the winner, is going to have to be a Chevy Man Z71. So either reach out to me, I will be reaching out to you either way. But this is a very clean and proper example of what a Mitsubishi Eclipse should look like. This is something that I would own, something that I would modify. And if I was to buy an Eclipse and I saw this for sale, it's one of the ones I would highly consider amongst all the others because it looks like it's been well taken care of. I guess that's pretty much it for the video. Hope you guys liked it. Of course, give me your suggestions in the comments below because this is the first episode. I do have many more to come. I still have a lot of pictures to go through. And if you feel like you haven't submitted your car, or you want to, or you feel like yours was overlooked, go ahead and resubmit it in the link below. And of course, if you guys are interested in any of the stickers or the merch, I will link that down below for you guys. So yeah, like, comment, subscribe. See you on the next one.